Welcome back to the Local Business Report. I'm Marty Collins, and joining us this morning is CEO Brian Maurer of Western Reporting. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Marty. How are you?
Great. Great to have you with us on our program this morning. Brian is the CEO of Western Reporting, the nation's leading expert on screening for background screening and tenant screening. Tell us a little bit about your company, Brian, and the services that you provide.
Well, thanks for having me on, Marty. We provide a myriad of services in the background screening industry. We started out in 1995 as just a credit reporting agency and kind of have morphed into a background screening company, or as we like to term it, a consumer reporting agency. But we provide services for the employment arena, anybody that hires anybody, and also tenant screening as well as drug screening, which is a really big issue in today's day and age. But we pride ourselves on service and providing the most accurate, compliant information possible.
That's awesome. It is more important than ever that we hire the right employees, that we rent to the proper people, and so it's nice to have a service like yours available. Now, I know you have over 100 different services that you provide. Let's talk a little bit about employment screening and the process that it involves and the value to companies out there that might be looking for a reporting company like yours.
Well, I think what we provide to employers, and really we're unique in this arena because we like to supply our services to anybody that hires one person to thousands of people, the services they need in order to give them correct information regarding the people they hire. That information can include credit reports, criminal background checks, federal background checks, as we've mentioned, drug screening, and educational verification. Anything to verify that these people that employers are hiring not only are who they say they are, but are giving them correct information so they can make a credible decision on who they're going to hire.
That's awesome. Now, Brian, isn't there also a component of compliance or federal regulations when you're dealing with HR departments and staying current? And how does your service mitigate the risk that a company who might not be educated or up to date or current on the latest regulations, how does your company help mitigate that risk?
Well, that's a good question. The risk for an employer nowadays can be just more than a bad hire. It also extends to the possibility of having a hiring lawsuit, negligent hiring. And that's where we come into play. We have people that are in our offices that are trained with years and years of experience in compliance with what we call the FCRA, which is the Federal Credit Repository Act, of which all employers have to be governed by. This keeps them compliant, keeps them with government regulations and standards, and companies as ourselves keeps us and gives us really a perceivable difference from other companies that possibly would be in this arena.
Okay, that makes sense. But now, isn't there also a savings to most corporations who want to use a service like this versus seems like a huge task of having an in-house department do this, even from a cost-saving basis?
Well, I don't know too many companies that do it in-house. There are a few, but I think the savings for a company such as ours doing business for other companies as far as doing their screening takes away the liability from them as far as gathering information. We take on that liability. I'm proud to say we've never had a lawsuit since I have been with this company since 2003. We're very proud of that. And any kind of damages that would in fact occur if there was a problem, we're protected by some very, very high level liability insurance on our standards, and they're very, very high. So we take pride in the work that we do. We provide all the information we possibly can to employers or anybody doing this kind of service, and we have a 96% retention rate in our clients.
Well, that's almost unheard of today, a 96% retention. That is incredible. But now you also mentioned, and I know that you do 100, 150 different service components or versions of what you're doing. Tell me a little bit about the tenant screening and what's involved there, and what's going on in the industry.
Well, the industry is really robust right now. It's also fragmented as far as information that's provided to landlords and property managers. We tend to keep within the tenant screening business, although we are involved in some kind of property management as well as landlord services. But let me just talk about screening. And this becomes incredibly important because in today's day and age, people are renting anywhere from their basement to fourplexes, duplexes, to thousands and thousands of units. All of them require some kind of a verification that the people moving into these places are in fact who they are and have the right qualifications needed in order to not only afford the rent, but also to be a very good applicant or a good renter that doesn't cause damage to the landlord's investment. So we provide services such as credit reporting, criminal background checks, eviction records, employment verification, residential verification, everything that they need. And when I mean they, landlords, property managers, to be compliant, as well as fair housing compliant.
Boy, that makes a lot of sense in today's world. It's not just doing business on a handshake. People come from all over, live everywhere, been everywhere. So having a service like this certainly makes a lot of sense. Tell me a little bit about if I'm a company or I own a property, or if I'm a landlord or a property manager, do you guys also do white labeling? Is that something that is available, and how does that work?
Well, that's another good question, Marty. We're probably the only company that I know that does white labeling in this kind of business or in this arena. We're doing it for about 7 years, and about 40% of our business is white labeling, which means we label under your brand. If you have a company, whether it's a human resource management company, a trucking company, or any kind of employment agency, we try and take a back seat as far as our branding and allow you to market your own product the way you want to. We provide is the back-end services that normally would be a very high cost of entry into this field. We take all that away, provide our buying power, as well as the services we offer. Whereas white label is possible, even down to the telephone number and answering our phones in your name. Incidentally, our customer service is second to none. Today, I checked out our wait times on people calling in just requesting information, and it was 10 seconds. We try to stay within 30 seconds to a minute wait time. That's very, very critical in a business that requires so much customer service and making sure that it's an immediate type of business.
Boy, that's a phenomenal record, and it's one that I'm sure not many companies can boast. Brian, it's been a pleasure having you in our program today. For those of you who are out there, whether you're a business owner, small or large, or whether you're a landlord and owner of one apartment complex or many, we encourage you to check out Western Reporting, and you can call them on their 800 number at 1-800-466-1996. And they've got operators standing by. They've got a huge staff that supports all of their products and services. They're the leading authority in tenant screening and employment screening. We encourage them to call. Also, you can visit them on the web at www.westernreporting.com. Thank you again, Brian, for taking time out of your busy schedule to meet with us today. We wish you all the best and hope to have you on our program again.
Thank you, Marty. It's been a pleasure talking with you. You take care now.
Thanks again.